My name's Sam Leamy. Welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. I'm here with Michael McLaughlin and Connor Walsh. What is going on, boys?
It's been a while. I'm doing okay.
Hey,
Mike.
what's up?
Hey, Mike.
What's up?
Snow day.
Hi, Sam. How are you? Yeah, it's a snow day down here. Good. Is it a snow day for you guys?
It was. I mean, personally, yeah. I guess I went to the gym, but I don't go to school anymore. So
I went to Salvation Army because I wanted to find loot, and they said we're closing at like 2:00. She's like, "We're closing," and I said, "When?" And she said, "As soon as you leave." I was like, all right,
Did you buy anything?
No, because she was mean to me, and I just wanted to buy some cheap clothing that's been worn by 50 other people.
All right. Snow day down there, Mike. How is it down there?
Wait, do you want to? We got a bunch of those stores here that the fucking thrift stores in Brooklyn. It's snowy. Yeah, it's real snowy. Yeah, it's real.
It's the bomb cyclone, right?
It was actually brutal. Walking the streets today. I walk the streets, and the pain
Mike
on my face.
The streets of Brooklyn.
No, the snow was the pain. It was very painful, man. You couldn't even look upwards. Like every time you looked up to look at a red light, your face.
Yeah, I heard Boston and New York got it pretty tough. We were on the fringes. I mean, we got a lot of snow, but
probably got a good 4, 5, 6 inches. But yeah, Boston. My friend's cousin sent him a Snapchat. He showed me like the whole city's flooded with the ocean. It's like the day after tomorrow, a blizzard in the ocean or something. I don't know. I haven't been on the news, but that's what he sent me. He lives right in the city somewhere.
I was watching the fucking news, the news today, and the local news, and all it was like, let's go out to Janice or whatever, who's in Garden City, Long Island, and then she's just a reporter running around talking to people on the street, with no reason to do. I was like, how are you making it today? She's like, I don't know. You already talked to me once. Leave me alone, lady. She's like, oh, okay. She ran into a flower shop and she was like, well, you guys are open? There's a guy, the owner was taking a nap on the couch. She's like, what's up? It was just, I don't know why the newscasters get so excited for storms and it's like crazy.
Because it's like the one day where everyone has to check the news. Like you have to check the news today. Yeah. So it's like their big moment.
Oh my God, the weatherman, like the Channel 2 weatherman here, he's like this guy with like blonde hair. He's kind of like fit. He's got a lot of work done on his face. He looks like any softcore porn star from the 90s. And he was so excited. He kept taking you back into his own weather room and like showing you all his different monitors. And the guy was so geeked up. It looked like he was doing lines out of commercial breaks.
Well, he's passionate about his job, just like you, Mike.
Yeah. I love my job.
Just positivity today, but thanks for joining us, guys. We apologize for recording every month now, right? We're at every month, but
we're a joke.
We're back. Did you have a good holiday, Mike? We haven't done a podcast since before Christmas. How was your Christmas and New Year?
Christmas was great. I loved it. How was your Christmas?
It was good. You came over for a little while. I mean,
yeah, it was great. You gave me I came over late, but you gave me an eggnog with whiskey in it. I don't know. It was really good.
Yeah. How about you, Connor? How was your Christmas, New Year?
It was good. It was good.
We'll just leave it at that.
Good.
What did you do for New Year's? What's the kick down in Brooklyn on New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve? I went to a house party with somebody I worked with. And it was pretty, it was fun, actually. It was all right. It was just really tight. And there was a giant pit bull who was a great dog, but nobody had cleaned it in like months. Kind of smelled.
So just a lot of,
sounds like another neglected pit bull.
Yeah, it was
standard.
It wasn't a neglected pit bull. And there was a drunk girl there who kept playing with it too much to where it got violent and she didn't notice because she was too drunk. And it's like jumping on other people, like almost biting them. And she's like, ha 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 ha. It was fucking, whatever. But the party ended up being pretty cool, All
right, good. Well, Happy New Year, guys. Yeah. Happy New Year. On to 2018. It's been just over a year since we recorded episode 1 on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, was our number 1 podcast. What have we learned in the last 12 months, boys? What have we learned from our experience here at the Third Touch podcast?
The number one thing I've learned is that if you don't pod more than once a month, you lose a lot of listeners. So those of you that have stuck around, thanks for being here. No, it's been a fun year. It really has been. This is sometimes the highlight of my week, sometimes it's not, but I thoroughly enjoy doing this, and it's fun, man. Honestly, the number one thing I've learned, and the thing I enjoy the most, is that it's really had me dive into MLS as the official MLS guy of our podcast, but like, I've actually like really had to follow it for the first time in my life, and I've really, really enjoyed doing that. So I'm like thankful that I've given the league a third, fourth, fifth chance.
There you go.
And it's been really fun. It's a great league. Go watch MLS and stick around to the end of the podcast for my MLS section.
We do have a new we have a new production team coming in for a revamp of the show. But Mike, the last 12 months, have you been enjoying this? But thank you for sticking around, by the way. I know you're far away, but have you enjoyed these past 12 months with us, watching our mugs every week or every other week?
But it was going really well in the beginning. We were really knocking it out there, and then it's been good. Yeah, but we definitely. I think we need some more consistency.
I think it's the heartbreak. I think it's the heartbreak of USA being knocked out of the World Cup so early. Has that taken its toll on you and your passion for the game?
No, my passion's there, thanks, to a young lad from Pennsylvania who now plays in Germany. Watching him play makes me feel excited about soccer. I don't know why, but that's I'm still into it.
Okay, good. Well, we'll go back to all the games over the Christmas period.
Wait.
All right,
what have you learned? What have you learned in the past?
Well, it's only come to light very recently, but what I've learned is Jack Wilshere still has a career ahead of him.
Yes.
That's what I've learned.
Great transition. That is a great transition from our
This
host.
is what I want to talk about first and foremost is the return of Jack Wilshere to the Arsenal starting lineup. And the guy sitting to my right is one of the biggest Jack Wilshere fans and followers I have ever met. YouTube video after YouTube video. I don't know how many times this guy has played the Arsenal-Barcelona highlights from 2010. Was it 2012? Champions League. 2011. Jack Wilshere Masterclass. I actually just watched it 10 minutes ago. But I am very excited for a reborn Jack Wilshere over the last few weeks, month or so. His rise to the return for Arsenal. I don't know if you've been watching, Mike, but Jack Wilshere, formerly starlet of Arsenal FC, got in too many injuries, off to Bournemouth on loan, sat the bench for Bournemouth on loan towards the end of the season, returns to Arsenal, zero fitness, playing in the south of Spain with the under-21s, under-23s, winning the Algarve Cup, but now he's back at the Emirates and he's starting full-time. First reaction.
6 Premier League games in a row. So as our listeners...
So that's the first time since 2015 he's played that many games in a row for Arsenal.
Yeah, he's on a nice little string right now, and every game he plays a little bit better and gets more and more... becomes more and more like a presence on the field. And
just keep throwing that microphone around, Mike. That's good.
You like that? How does this sound right here? Is that all right? Is that better?
There you go. But sorry for interrupting, Connor.
No, it's been good. It's been fun. And like, I was kind of I was just like down on Arsenal, really down at the beginning of the season. And as Jack Wilshere's gotten fit and healthy, starting in the Europa League and the League Cup the last, 2 or 3 months, my interest has gone up, and Mike looks extremely unhappy about this conversation.
Well, just before we go on the podcast, Connor did say he's been watching the Premier League hard the last 2 months. So his knowledge is so deeper than...
My knowledge is deep as a river. It's deep as the Hudson River.
But Jack Wilshere is back, and he's in contention for the World Cup squad for England.
He's not in contention for the squad.
What do you mean
he's in contention for the captaincy.
So
that's what we have to talk about now. Is the captaincy.
It's 2018. This is a World Cup year. I apologize to you guys and everyone out there from the United States that are listening.
Just keep rubbing it in, buddy. Just keep rubbing that in.
Make it. But it's World Cup year. It's 2018. The groups have been drawn. We have mentioned it on a previous podcast, but the state of the England team looks somewhat stronger if Jack Wilshere stays fit and healthy. But why are you surprised that he's come back this strong? Or
absolutely not. This is what I've seen since he was 17 years old. Like this is like news to everyone else that he was like he's a good player. I don't know why people were surprised. Like I've been with him since he was youth, since he was young, before he could legally drink in the country of England. Okay.
Do you think he is one of the last strong personalities that England have, and he has to be picked solely on not only his recent form, but because he's a little bit older, he's a little bit wiser, and he can bring the rest of the lads together?
Look, If both of his ankles were shattered, I would still say yes, go to the World Cup, because who else is blowing lines and banging hookers and smoking cigarettes in the hotel pool after matches? Like, that's what you need, someone like that in your squad. Every team has that person. And for that alone, he should be selected. But if he's playing great on top of that, it's obviously a bonus for England.
Do you think he has a similar personality? I know I've shown you some Paul Gascoigne highlights in the past. Do you think there's some similarities there with how much he really cares about England, his passion and his willingness to get back to full fitness and prove to everyone that he can still do it for Arsenal and for England?
No one loves their club and country more than Jack Wilshere. And no one also loves tobacco products as much as Jack Wilshere. So I think there is a little bit of Gascoigne in him. I think Gascoigne is a bit of an extreme example because
he was drunk every game.
Yeah, and did a lot of. I think he probably does more cocaine than Jack Wilshere does. So
can I admit something to you?
Carry on.
I don't know who. I confused Jack Wilshere with Aaron Ramsey, and I don't know which one is which. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That is the most hurtful thing I've ever heard.
Did you stop recording?
No, I didn't. No, I carried on.
All right.
Jack Wilshere is
one player controls the midfield and has a huge presence and does a lot of positives. The other player runs around like a chicken with his head cut off, doing Cruyff turns in his own box, passing to the opposing team, not getting hurt enough. So there's two very different players.
There you go.
One's a legend for Wales. Yeah,
that is correct, and it's definitely not Jack Wilshere because we've been talking about him playing for England for the past 10 minutes.
I know, but Aaron Ramsey plays.
But how was the Premier League for you guys over the festive period? Experts go on and on saying the English schedule's too cramped, too many games in too short space of time. I've seen pictures of Ronaldo, Lionel Messi on the beaches of Abu Dhabi, wherever, here, there, and everywhere. They take this nice long rest, so they're fresher to return after the winter break. Yet, therefore, maybe that gives them an extra spring in their step for the World Cup and these summer tournaments. This is why England lack when it comes to those tournaments. Do you agree with this, or do you just love the Christmas schedule, the tradition that England holds in the Premier League?
I love it, but it's definitely suicidal. There's no reason for it. And even yesterday, I was watching the Arsenal-Chelsea match in which Jack Wilshere scored a goal. And I was like, finally, this is done. Finally, this Christmas period is done, and we can take a break from having to watch a game every day of the week for 2 weeks. And then I checked the Premier League app, and it's West Ham and Tottenham today. It's just way, way too many games. And I feel really bad for Rebecca Lowe, who's a mother who can't see her child for 3 weeks because Brighton and Hove have to play 7 times, and she has to cover it.
Did you hear they came down?
Yes.
Did you hear they came down just before Christmas to Brooklyn or somewhere on in Manhattan? NBC. They were giving away tickets to meet Rebecca Lowe, Robbie Earl, and it was kind of a
Premier League fan zone situation.
Really?
Yeah, you should have scooped some tickets for the Third Touch podcast. Good one, Mike. You got some contacts.
I would love to meet them. No, hold on. It has to fucking be bad.
Why does it have to be bad?
I mean, as a fan,
do you think the England players suffer in the summer tournaments because of the schedule?
It's tough. There's probably not enough evidence. There's only
Why England do shit every tournament? There's your fucking evidence.
Yeah, I know, but how much are they? How much really could hurt them? I don't. It's just what the German and the Spanish leagues get. What they get 4 weeks off, right?
No, they get 2 weeks off. But let me put this.
I think longer. I think they're 4.
You're in a dead end job. You're grinding away every day. I mean, you somewhat enjoy it. Let's take the bar as a perfect example. You love it. You hate it. You love going in some days. You hate it some other days. Somewhat similar to a professional footballer, correct? I mean, you should love it all the time, but you loathe some people that you're around, I guess, sometimes, just like any other job. And you go away for 2 weeks, you have a vacation, you come back, and you're more excited to come back to work and do the thing that you did before the break. Isn't that like a sense of freshness? When you go away, take a break, instead of grinding day in, day out, and it's repetitive for 9 months of the season from August to May.
It's a lot. It's way too much. It's just too many
Yeah, I
games.
think
They could literally cut the schedule in half, and it would still be more games than normal. Like it would, you know what I mean? It would still be 3 games.
Well, I know the French league start a week earlier. I don't know if La Liga start a week earlier than the Premier League. I think
a week after.
A week after. So, and they have the same amount of teams in the league, which you can fit it into their schedule, including the 2 cup competitions and the Champions League.
Well, that's the other thing is that there's a second cup competition, which Spain doesn't have. I don't believe Germany has. France has 2. Italy has 2. But, I think we could all, you could do without the League Cup and stretch that Premier League schedule out another weekend or throw some midweek matches in when there's a league.
There isn't that much evidence to say the foreign players that play in the Premier League as well, that they shine in the World Cups. There's only a few that I can think of. Maybe Torres in 2010 was pretty good. He was playing in the Premier League then. A few of the French players, I think in '98, Patrick Vieira, Petit was the other one. I think there was one other player. It was home soil and they did dominate the final. But I can't think of any Premier League players that have actually blown up the World Cup. It really is hard for Premier League players to do that in the summer, but I'll have to research some more evidence for that. But hectic schedule. Tottenham we just watched. They drew 1-1 at home to West Ham. That stopped their 3-game winning streak over the Christmas period. But which team has excited you the most over the festive period out of the teams in the Premier League? Who's excited you? Arsenal.
Honestly, I had a lot of fun watching Crystal Palace. They did play Arsenal. They lost, but Wilfried Zaha looks great. They're starting to put some points together. The game against Manchester City was wicked exciting. How they didn't win that game 2-0 in the last 10 minutes was shocking, but they were just fun and exciting to watch, and I enjoy watching matches at Selhurst. But I know it's just I know I liked watching a lot of it.
All the Crystal Palace doubters, Roy Hodgson when he came in. I think it's 1 loss in 11 now for Roy Hodgson and Crystal Palace. But Man City, Mike, running away with the league.
Sterling. I called Sterling. I called it, 4 or 5 years ago when he came up when he was 17 and he was on Liverpool. I was like, this kid. And you were like, oh, no, I don't know. He's just speedy. He's like an Aaron Lennon.
Players.
Yeah, I like fast players. Yeah,
right,
but he's good now.
He's had 6 months that he's scored a ton of tap-ins. Guardiola's got him playing the way.
Did you see the goal he scored against
Southampton?
I forget what team it was, but Southampton.
Yeah,
he curled it.
Yeah.
He scored a nice goal against Newcastle too over this festive period.
15 points.
And he still runs with his elbows like this and his hands like that.
Shoe in for the England team. Who'd you pick ahead? Yeah. Jack Wilshere's different position, but if you had to pick either Sterling or Wilshere for the England team, who would you pick? I know who you would pick. Who would you pick, Mike?
Well, that's not a.
Oh well, they don't compete.
Question.
So
that's not a realistic.
Here's a better question: who's the first man on your team sheet if you're the England manager?
Harry Kane.
That's good. Yeah, smart.
Phil Foden. Or what's his face?
Jake Livermore.
Drinkwater for Chelsea. What a season that young chap's had.
He scored his first goal against Southampton.
Nice. But yeah, Man City, like I said, 15 points clear above Manchester United, clinging on to that second place in the Premier League, playing some of the dullest football the Premier League has ever seen. But Pogba's grinding out performances in 10-minute spells, just like YouTube. Chelsea in third place, Liverpool popping in to fourth place on 44 points, Tottenham just behind on 41, and Arsenal down to 6th, 39th. What's going wrong for Arsenal this first half of the season? Too many draws, players' heads not in the right, in the right shape. What's going to happen to Sanchez and Ozil in this transfer period? What's happening at Arsenal Football Club, Connor?
I think that there has been a lot of draws. It's just still the same old problems. Like Arsenal is fairly easy to play against. Like mid-table clubs don't have a lot of trouble playing against them sometimes.
What, dude? Don't look at me.
Brushing your hair. So Mike is currently brushing his hair. You still have hair.
No, you ever just scratch your hair and it's just like, it feels so good, Anyway, back to Arsenal.
Your birthday's coming up, Mike, right?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. My birthday's coming up. I'm coming up. I'm coming up to hang out with you. We're gonna have a good time.
How young are you this time?
I will be some age. I'm 38. I'm 38, man.
Yeah.
Getting up there.
All right, Mike, Connor, Arsenal Football Club. Actually, the game yesterday was one of the best second halves in the Premier League I've ever seen. It was great entertainment.
Yeah, it was a wild match. And there was moments in the first half, too. Like Sanchez hitting the post, Morata was in.
Yeah, talking about Arsenal 2-2 against Chelsea yesterday. Kind of back and forth game. So many chances, great saves, great goals, dubious penalty decisions again for Arsenal.
It's always Hazard, man. Every time Hazard goes down, he gets a penalty.
So do you think that was a penalty? Do you think that was the right call?
I don't think Bellerin should have put his foot up and made contact. It was extremely soft. Technically, that contact could have caused a penalty.
I mean, he kicked the guy. He kicked him. It's a foul anywhere in the field. He missed the ball and kicked Hazard. He shouldn't have gone down as the way he does.
The thing is, if Bellerin doesn't need to do that, if he keeps his both feet on the ground, he can contain Hazard. He doesn't need to lunge in and catch his foot. It was so soft.
The ball was kind of chest high as well.
Yeah,
so.
It was so soft. However, I guess technically it is a penalty. Arsenal had last two games have had two penalty controversies. The equalizer that West Brom scored.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Callum Chambers' arm was in a completely natural position. It was off his body, but it was in a position that it was harsh. It was harsh, but his hand was kind of far off the body. You can probably make a case for both sides, but I think the general consensus has been harsh and not a penalty. I don't know. It's been, Arsene Wenger's going to get a touchline ban, it seems like, for the West Brom thing. The Chelsea decision isn't going to make him any happier.
But isn't that unfair? I mean, he's already had a decision go against him, and now he's going to have another one go against him because of his honest opinion. I mean, everyone saw that it was a ridiculous decision for the handball. So that decision, losing 2 points, now he's going to get another ban. So that's kind of two punishments in one, which seems very unfair.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough how a manager just speaks his mind, and I don't know what was said on the touchline against West Brom, but enough. It seems like managers should be allowed to express themselves a little bit more, especially in the heat of a moment. If they don't put hands on the referee, like what's so wrong about yelling at a ref? Like, is the ref emotionally unstable? Maybe the Premier League isn't the best job for him. I don't know. It's I've always found it kind of weird. And apparently the Wenger situation could be really harsh.
Yeah.
Like the penalty could be very harsh. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, yesterday's match was extremely, extremely good. Both teams could have won.
Even at the end, the Morata 1-on-1, which is probably missing the game.
Zappacosta hitting the post.
It was. You watched this game, Mike? Yeah.
I watched the first half, and I just know that
the
one else. What's up?
You watched the worst half.
Yeah, the worst half. I watched Morata had that breakaway, and then he just didn't cheek it over the keeper. He tried to go curl it around him on the ground.
Correctly for the goalkeeper one way he had him, and it wasn't even close.
He's having a tough. Having a tough. And the fact he doesn't. He had 3 1-on-1s with the keeper and bottled all 3, and the one at the end of the game was obviously the worst because it was in stoppage time. Would have won the match. Mm-hmm. And
it's one of those ones, if Altidore had done it when he was at Sunderland, they would have booed him off the field. He would have had to
would have been
pack
sold.
his bags,
He wouldn't have
been in
played
a
for weeks.
And when he does it for Toronto, no one watches, so he gets away with it. But yeah, Man City looking for
every once in a while. Every once in a while, you go on an Altidore highlight package on YouTube, and it's all his Toronto highlights, and there'd be some Sutherland fan be like, "What is this?" Just going off that. Who's this guy? I don't know. There.
I think the big story in the Premier League right now is the bottom of the table is very tight. Obviously, Manchester City has the league wrapped up, but
So you think the league's over?
I know it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
But 2 through 6, Arsenal's 8 points behind United, who are in second place. It's very tight, and two teams are going to miss out in that top 4. Most likely, it's going to be more or less between Liverpool, Tottenham,
and
Arsenal.
As it's were. I think the resurgence of Everton in the past few weeks under Sam Allardyce, Everton are pushing their way up to the table, but all that at the bottom is really, really tight, and there's no surprises. The top 6, right? You have your big boys there, and it looks like 2 of those are going to miss out. What's your top 4? Let's go for. Man City have wrapped it up. What will you go for your top 4? Before we go into the bottom half of the table, sorry. I don't even want to talk about that.
City, United, Chelsea, Arsenal.
You think United's a shoo-in?
I think they're strong enough. Yeah, I think they're gonna. I don't think Mourinho. He might not be. He's having a good season, but he's not gonna let that top four slip up. There's no way.
I mean, there's still progress under Mourinho. What was it last season? 5th, and now it could be 2nd. It could be 3rd. He's going to view it as an improvement on previous years. I mean, I think 6th or 7th under the last season under Van Gaal. And then up to 5th with Mourinho, that's progress. And then up to 2nd or 3rd or 4th, he's going to see it as that. But the way Man City are playing, I mean, United on 14 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses halfway through the season. If you double that statistic, that's still not good enough to win the league, I don't think. But, what do you think, Mike? Who do you think top 4 is going to be?
City, number 1. Number 2 is United, and then I don't give a shit. Tottenham, I don't know. They're not playing that. They're like 7th, right? They're not even.
They're 5th.
They're 5th.
The 5th. All right. Yeah. Honestly, I just like it. Just seems like United and City are better than, and Mourinho just knows how to grind out results for everybody else. So I think 1, 2, and then where's Chelsea right now? They 3rd.
Chelsea's 3rd and 46 points.
And then who's in 4th? Arsenal?
Liverpool. 44. Spurs have 41
Liverpool,
and 5th.
That is who people signed. Liverpool just signed that center back,
right? Yeah. Since we've been off the air, they have signed Virgil van Dijk for 75 million.
Disturbing 75 million.
For a defenseman. Yeah. I don't know. I think you look at Liverpool, maybe they can make a run to 3rd. I don't know. I mean,
but we'll talk about some of the transfer gossip after we discuss the bottom half of the table. But pretty much so tight from Watford, even Everton, you could say, in 9th. To Stoke City in 18th in the drop zone, 3rd from bottom. Only 7 points separates 9th and 18th place. Views at the bottom, managers have come in. David Moyes, Sam Allardyce, Mark Hughes under pressure. Swansea have a new manager. West Brom have a new manager. Who do you think is struggling down there? You think everyone's in trouble?
I think it's going to be really, really tight. And I think with Stoke in the relegation right now in 18th, West Brom in 19th, Swansea in 20th, and then Southampton in 17th. Like Southampton, Stoke, West Brom have been Premier League mainstays for like a decade now. Swansea's fairly new, but has been a model club up to this season or till last season in the Premier League. Someone is going to go down. Like it could be West Ham even. It could be Bournemouth, who everyone loves Eddie Howe. But what's going on there? Newcastle aren't safe. Brighton are playing okay, but they're not safe. It's a couple big clubs are going to go down, and if it were to be Southampton, I would be shocked. Stoke have always been between 8th and 12th place for a decade now, more or less.
I mean, Stoke and West Brom have been kind of neck and neck with each other.
Yeah, so you're going to lose a Premier League mainstay for what's been 10 years, whatever. It's going to be interesting to see who it is. I bet Southampton wish they didn't sack Claude Puel, though. That is a serious. I imagine that's a serious regret of theirs because of how well Leicester are playing. It's gonna be crazy. I think that's the race for between 3rd and 6th is gonna be super exciting, and then the relegation race is gonna be super exciting. Right. And who do I not want to go down? I don't want Southampton to go down. I wouldn't be sad if Stoke went down. It would be very surprising, though, because they do have a pretty good team.
I mean, look how many goals Stoke have conceded. 47 goals they've conceded. I actually did hear that. I mean, Stoke was always
they have the worst goal differential in the Premier League.
They have the worst goals conceded in the top 5 leagues out of any team, even that team bottom of the Serie A. There's a stat for you.
Benevento?
Yeah.
Who have won 0 matches?
No, they won the other day.
They won their first game?
They won their first game the other day. Before the Christmas break. But Stoke has always been that place. What's the old saying? Can they do it on a rainy night in Stoke on a Wednesday night? It's not that of a hard place to go. I mean, I think the only game that I've seen a team really struggle at Stoke in those wet and windy conditions
was Manchester United,
was
right?
Arsenal this season when Hesse scored that goal 1-0. I mean, it was early on in the season. But
well, man, you struggled.
Hesse. But yeah, on to before we get on to the Pulisic watch with Michael McLaughlin and MLS. pre-season craziness that's going on in the Major League Soccer. This is an exciting time for the Major League Soccer, right?
It's been a pretty crazy couple of weeks. It has been since the season ended in early December.
But we'll get onto that in a second. But just before we get onto that, a couple of transfer news. I mean, Philip Coutinho, the little wonder Brazilian kid for Liverpool Football Club, looks to be on his way to Barcelona right now after the arrival of Virgil van Dijk for 75 million. Liverpool look to recoup some of that money with the sale of Philip Coutinho. I think the only thing Barcelona and Liverpool are disagreeing on is the price right now. I think Barcelona want to give installments for Champions League appearances, medals, etc., but Liverpool want all the money up front. He does not have a clause in his contract, so it's pretty much here's the money, yes, no, or I think Liverpool put a price on his head and Barcelona kind of trying to get him for a lot lower. Is this a big blow for Liverpool, or do you think they can survive as well as they're doing with the great start to the season from Salah, Firmino, and Mane?
I think it's a huge blow because who is the player that's going to step up? Is it going to be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain? Probably not. I think it's then they have gone through periods without Coutinho due to injury, somewhat of an injury-prone player, but I think that's definitely a huge loss for them, and because he's without a doubt one of the best players in the Premier League.
Firmino's been, I don't think he has the ability of Coutinho, but he's been phenomenal this season.
He's a forward though. Coutinho's been playing,
but he's been absolutely phenomenal. And Salah, I mean, you can't say enough
Salah's
good things.
Great.
He won African Player of the Year today.
Yeah.
So
after Yaya Toure won it 30 years in a row.
7 decades of the Toure family.
Wait, Drogba had to win it one there.
Oh yeah, he won it. Yeah, he won it. Yeah, he won it a few times. Yeah, it was literally Drogba for 10 years, Yaya Toure for 10 years.
Salah's one of those guys who like, he's fast, but you never like look at him like he's a fast guy, but he's super fast.
Yeah, he's like baby Mario. He's just like running around fast. No, he's fast. He's got great balance, great finish, finishing him. Yeah, absolutely great. And the pressure he was under when taking that penalty for Egypt to qualify for the first World Cup since 1990. Looks like he can take the pressure of
he said his favorite. He said his favorite manager is they'd ever had.
Built Bob Bradley, right?
Bradley.
Come on, dude.
That's because it's quoted. That's quoted.
I'm gonna Google that. Everyone out there, Google that.
Bob Bradley guided him through the Arab Spring.
That's right. That's right. He goes, I'll never forget.
So it looks like Coutinho's gonna finally go to
brave bald.
Finally go to Barcelona. It looks like they've got their man. And Liverpool haven't really come out and said he's not for sale like they did in the summer. So it looks like he will be off. Another transfer rumour, Sanchez, Ozil, looking like, I think Sanchez, I know Sanchez can talk to other clubs now, entering his 6 months to the end of his contract. Arsene Wenger's known to run down people's contracts, just like we saw with Van Persie. Clubs getting them at a cut price. Do you think Ozil, Sanchez will go, or do you think one or the other will stay?
I think Ozil is more likely to stay. He seems to be pretty happy for the most part in London. I think the lack of trophies and sometimes the lack of competing with top clubs probably wears on him. But generally, he seems to be happy, and if anything, he's been playing. I guess people make the argument when you're going to play great before the transfer window opens, which is there might be something to that. But he has been very, very good recently. Sanchez is definitely playing better with the transfer window now open, because the beginning of the season he was pretty terrible, and now he's been playing pretty excellent. But honestly, as an Arsenal fan, I would rather have Mesut Ozil at the club. I think I would rather have both. I want both, but if one has to go, I want it to be Alexis. He doesn't want to be there. Plus, I would hate to lose him for free. He's worth too much money to lose him for free.
Yeah.
In the summer, it's just, especially the way Arsenal's run as a club. If they can get any penny out of him, they're going to sell him in January. But who's going to spend the money at this time of the year? Who needs him? Like, does Manchester City really need him?
Well, that's the thing. Like,
they need him for the Champions
League. The thing
is
with Coutinho, it's like, Barcelona, do they really need Coutinho? They're 9 points clear of La Liga. They've already won the league. He can't play in the Champions League. The only thing Sanchez
Wait, you can't play if you're a transfer window, January transfer window?
Yeah, if you
can, but if you've appeared in the Champions League that season, you can't play for another Champions League club.
There used to be a rule where if you played in the group stage, you can play in the knockout stage. You couldn't play in the group stages and the knockout stages. But if you play for a different club in the early stages of the Champions League, you're ineligible for the rest of the season. So that's my only thing with Coutinho as well. I mean, does Barcelona really need him?
I think they do.
Plus, with the World Cup year, is it a high risk for Coutinho to go to Barcelona? I mean, I know he's a phenomenal player, but he's definitely not a shoo-in for that Brazil team at the World Cup. You think he's a shoo-in?
For the roster? Absolutely. No question.
No, for the starting 11.
Starting 11,
that's what I mean.
Way more competitive.
There you go. But with Sanchez, Chile aren't in the World Cup. There's a lower risk for him personally to go abroad. He is 29. He's going to be could be the last contract he signs, or second to last contract he's going to sign for a new club.
Except for when he signs for Atlanta United in 5 years. They love South Americans.
Arsenal has they have Mesut Ozil and Sanchez.
Correct.
Aren't they like two of the best players in the world?
Yes. However,
Ozil doesn't run anymore, really, but he is very creative, and he has, he can.
Ozil's the type of player
he can dictate the play.
You'll be watching a game with Ozil's playing, and you don't even realize that what he's doing. If you watch the highlights afterwards, you're like, that was absurd how well he played.
If you were to look at United's roster, would you say which player on United's roster can be like is better than both of those two guys? 100%. Pogba.
Well, I don't know. I don't really rate Pogba, but his expectations, Pogba, which I've come to realize recently, is so high, and everyone expects him to be this legendary player. He's very expensive. I don't think he's ever going to reach.
He's your best.
Right, but the ability, I guess, Pogba. I mean, Matic does things very.
Ozil and Sanchez are better than any player.
Jesse Lingard is absolute ripping the Premier League.
Do you want to say that? Dude, come on.
I don't know about all that, dude. I watched him play. He is, but it's like,
Ozil and Sanchez are better than any player in Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, United were after Sanchez in the summer, but do you think it's 100% Sanchez is going to go?
I mean, I hope not. I kind of do. I kind of do want him to leave because if he's not happy,
what if he's dedicated to the Europa League? He's like in now. He's loves the away days.
Yeah, he loves away days in Serbia, playing Red Star in front of 70,000 hooligans, murderers.
But, same with Ozil as well. Germany team is so strong. I know I
don't think he'll have any trouble making the Germany team.
Winning that midfield. In that position, no one's like that in Germany. But the risk is higher for Ozil. I mean, just form-wise, I mean, he can chill at Arsenal till the end of the season and cruise his way into the Germany team. Where's Ozil going to go? Where do you think? He can't go back to Real Madrid.
Well, first off, he's not going anywhere in January. Ozil will not be leaving in January. It'll be at the end of the season, and I think Manchester United could any team in the world could use Mesut Ozil. Like the people that slag him for his work rate, like watch the game, like watch what the influence he has. Like other times where he might not track back and work hard defensively, but he's a luxury. Like, Mesut Ozil is like a luxury that he springs so much. When he doesn't play, like Arsenal has a game like they had against West Brom where it's hard to break teams down. The play isn't very fluid, and when he plays, like you might not even notice that he was the person that just made the pass because he's like the best player I've watched in an Arsenal shirt, hands down. Right. I mean. And recently, obviously, up until 2006, that was a really good Arsenal team. Arsenal was very good, but since then, and he would compete with a lot of those players, I think.
All right. Okay. I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that. But wrapping up the Premier League, just thoughts real quick before we move on to Pulisic's watch with Michael McLaughlin. Just two things from your team of the season so far, surprise of the season. Go ahead.
Team of the season would be Manchester City. I think that's it's pretty good. I would say the disappointment of the season would be Stoke or Southampton. Extremely underperforming. Me and Sam were talking today about that England squad and how a year ago today, like James Ward-Prowse and Nathan Redmond could have worked their way into that squad for this season, for this summer. But now fighting relegation, like those two guys are become more or less irrelevant to the English team.
Danny Drinkwater, though. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
And then player of the season so far.
Kevin De Bruyne.
How about you, Mike?
Oh, seeing that I never miss a game, let me tell you. I'm going to go. You can just laugh. It's fine. Everyone knows I don't know shit about. Well, I do, but, you know.
The big moment's coming up, Mike.
Yeah, did it. Oh, I'm excited. Team City, obviously, you know. Team of the year. Disappointment. Gonna go with Huddersfield.
Why is that? Because you thought Wagner was gonna tear the Premier League to shreds.
Yeah. He had the same hair as the guy as Ruud, who was the old Barcelona player, Barcelona manager.
Ruud Gullit.
Ruud Gullit. Yeah.
Ruud Gullit had dreads.
Well, you know, I don't know. I kind of mush their faces together. It's just like they're like Aaron Ramsey and
we should
and
do we
Jack
gotta do a
Wilshere
David Wagner Ruud Gullit face swap.
Ruud Gullit was never manager of Barcelona anyway.
Yeah, he was.
No, that's Rijkaard.
That's who I'm thinking of, Rijkaard. the manager when Ronaldinho was there.
Yeah, that was Rijkaard.
Yeah. Player of the year. I mean, yeah, De Bruyne. I love watching him play. He's dope, and I guess he's playing great. So because Connor said so.
Well, I'm gonna go with definitely Man City team of the year so far. Everton are definitely the biggest disappointment so far with the amount of money they spent in the summer.
Yeah, true.
And I'm gonna go to my arch enemy Mo Salah as player of the season so far. I think someone who's come into the Premier League first season and the way
Not his first season in the Premier League.
well, played for Chelsea briefly, but for Liverpool first season with Liverpool, he's come in top goal scorer in the Premier League. Is he just behind Kane now? Yeah, I think Kane overtook him over the festive period. But Mo Salah, the little Egyptian, Mario.
What are your thoughts on Kane scoring more goals in the calendar year for club and country?
Dude, Martial has scored more calendar goals than Messi and Ronaldo in 2018. And Lingard.
Oh my gosh.
Done.
You're like a meme, bro.
All right, Mike.
Yes,
I know there's a little
up?
bit of Christian Pulisic in Germany.
What is that? What was that?
In Deutschland. Christian
I don't know if you know this
Pulisic
now,
in Deutschland.
Germany's on break right now.
Yes.
Pulisic, they're on break. I don't think. When was the last time we had our podcast?
It was exact date. I can bring that up for you in 2 seconds.
I can tell you,
the 8th. It was the 8th of December. Our last podcast, the 8th of December. That's right, fans. You didn't miss any downloads.
Don't care. So we got a new manager.
That was Mank and Irish at the same time.
What are you talking about?
Don't care.
Okay.
I don't care, you know. Well, listen, we got a new manager, but let's not talk. Let's get to the nuts and bolts. First game with this new manager, Pulisic gets pulled off in the 56th minute. I'm like,
who is the new manager?
What? Who is this new manager? What is he doing? He's gonna fuck up my whole winter. Next game, Pulisic plays all 90 minutes. He hasn't come out of any game since. And I don't know if you saw the second to last game of the season, last game of the actual Bundesliga season against Hoffenheim. They needed a goal. Did you see this play?
I did. It was last minute. Yes, it was. Yes,
last minute. Pulisic makes a run from the right side. Kagawa hits him a beautiful ball. The defender kind of clips it. Ball bounds in the air. Pulisic, keeper, gonna collide. Pulisic, beautiful touch over the keeper's head, and it looks like what's his face? He's gonna put it in. Aubameyang. Until that American foot tells that Gambian weirdo to get out of the way because he's putting in a left-footed goal. I don't know if he's Gambian, but Aubameyang's great. But it was a beautiful goal by Pulisic.
But it was a great last-minute finish, and a very composed finish and very selfish finish, I would say. I mean, he
like that.
He kind of took control of the initial play, and it only had a split second to make the decision to slam it in the back of the net. But great touch, great finish, and that propelled Dortmund up to third place in the Bundesliga, even though they're tied with 3 other clubs on 28 points.
And then they did play in the Polka, I believe that's the German. They played against Bayern.
Yes.
And they got it handed to them a little against Bayern. But they played much better.
I mean, it was
time.
It was 2-1. I don't know about handed, but it was 2-1.
It was 2-0. It was 2-0. It was, if you watch the game. How did
the young Nippersnapper play?
He played pretty well in that game. But I want to go back to that goal because when he scored that goal against Hoffenheim, It was awkward. I don't like that. I don't like when highlights. Honestly, when that highlight was such a beautiful highlight, I don't like it how him and
Who's the new
Aubameyang
manager
collided.
for Dortmund again? Who came in?
He's the guy who used to coach Cologne.
All right.
No.
I don't know.
Cologne?
Yeah. They didn't win a game, and they hired him.
Nice. Dortmund's future in safe hands.
Anyway, well, him and Aubameyang, with that, he pushed him out of the way, though. The whole thing, it kind of made. I mean, I think Pulisic, he's got that sort of leadership quality, and definitely he's like driven to be the man, which
just
is like a thing.
Just like he is for the United States. But do you think he can? I feel like he can handle the pressure more in Dortmund. Yeah, he can't handle the pressure away to Costa Rica. Kind of weird.
No,
right?
he played away at Costa Rica.
Home to Costa Rica. Sorry.
We lost.
No, that had nothing to do with him. I mean, seriously, that's a coach. You're looking at the squad now.
Of pressure. Do you think he's inviting this pressure on him? Do you think he likes this pressure? There's a lot of hype around this kid. It just looks he seems more at home. Let me rephrase it. He seems more at home at Dortmund than he does when he comes over and plays with the national team. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, because he's not playing on cow pastures in Trinidad. Of course he's.
Yeah, also too because he gets to play actual football. Like he gets to make runs on the wing, and he's gonna get hit. You know.
That's funny. That's funny. Right.
No, that was good. I was just getting defensive about Pulisic.
Right, okay. I'm just asking you a question as a lead writer for the Christian Pulisic Deutschland section.
Fan club.
Yeah.
Yo, why don't we go to a Dortmund game next year? If you
we should. Let's go.
Why don't we do that? Let's go to Germany next year.
Well, because he's probably not gonna. Is that where we're going, Sam? We going to that part? Are we gonna talk about that?
Oh, the trip next October. We will when it gets closer.
No. I'm talking about the Pulisic rumors.
Oh, right. I don't know. Why are you talking to me? I'm not.
How did you know about these rumors?
Well, he's not.
You don't pay attention.
He's not going to United, is he?
What are you talking about? It's on every English newspaper. It's not like Mike made this up because I saw it on a message board, which I did.
It's your section, mate. You fucking talk about it.
Dude, all right, listen, you fucking asshole. Christian Pulisic, my fucking phone. Pulisic will not. All these reports came out of the Mirror, the Sun, the Daily, whatever. All
the two least refutable newspapers in England.
The Daily Star as well.
No, I got one here too. A bunch of those goofy freaking, and it's on Yahoo Sports.
Right.
That Mourinho, that it does look like
is it with
it's
two
not
O's?
the strong.
Is it with 2 O's or 3 O's? That Yahoo Sports.
It's a Yahoo. No, it's just 2 O's. Shut up. They got two that Pulisic that Mourinho wants to nab somebody over this transfer period, and then they're putting feelers out there that they sent scouts to watch Pulisic, and that they're thinking about putting Pulisic on the wing. I don't really see it as I see it as a good move for United, but I don't think it's a good move for Pulisic if that were to actually happen.
Well, you think you think his best position's a number 10 role than on the wing, but at these massive clubs, wouldn't he be utilized? Around superstars. We know he's a good player, but he's not a superstar yet. He has the ability to maybe become a superstar. He's not quite there yet. So if he was to move, I mean, he's at a huge club right now. And if he was to move to an even bigger club in Manchester United, arguably they are a bigger club. I don't think he can walk straight into a number 10 position right there. I just don't think he can do it.
Lingard's position. You think Lingard's a better player?
That's not the point.
That's what he plays. That's what he. I mean,
Lingard doesn't play every game, but we have.
Pulisic.
I think Juan Mata has
more
ability than Pulisic right now. Juan Mata's been that kind of attacking creator.
Juan Mata's an ugly hobbit, yo. Pulisic in.
All right. So the likelihood of this happening, Mike, in this transfer window or even the summer?
0. I say 0%. 1.2% of this January.
Okay.
But summer, he's gone, dude. He's gone. I don't see him. I think maybe for his development, it would be good for him to last for a whole nother year. But honestly, he's so competent, and that's not even the right word. I'm trying to think. He's so confident.
He's got so many years though that he can learn from Borussia Dortmund. He has 2 or 3 years at least, and then he's 22. And then, this is the early stage of his career.
Yeah, but they have the American market. That's what's pushing this, too. The amount of money you can make. Whoever can nab him if he really is the real deal.
Maybe.
Which that goal against Hoffenheim went all over the world. Everybody sees that goal, they're like, oh, that's a different style. That's a Messi-esque goal.
That Hoffenheim goal was special.
Well, if anyone hasn't seen it, Google Hoffenheim.
And there was, I didn't realize how good it was because I watched it, I saw it, and then didn't see like the actual. I saw like a little 10-second clip that didn't show like the one camera angle where you realize what the skill he did. And I didn't see that for like another week. I just saw it like the 1 or 2 times. I was like, that was sick. He won the game.
Yeah.
But then I saw the skill he did, and I was like, there's been a few times where I've been like, this kid is super special. And I was like, that was crazy that he won that game like that. Because that was world class. Like that touch, the ability, the technical, whatever, was crazy. Mm-hmm. That was sick. Like that was really cool, and I was excited to see that.
Yeah, and I think that it goes around the world, and then anytime there's a big American player, there's always some pullback, like, oh, America's because of the Freddie Adu, and
well, that's
Americans
what I was gonna say. I mean, I know that too.
I think we're past that now. I think we're past that. Periods. I think the world is starting to recognize
and I think he's more level-headed than Freddie Adu was. Freddie Adu was like, money, come get me! Like, you know what I mean?
It's like, money, chicks, cocaine, money, chicks, cocaine. What happened? I'm 40?
No, zero guidance. That poor Freddie Adu, who is, I mean...
I don't think he's 40. He's probably doing all right.
I mean, he's 27. He's 28. He's still
Make a 30 for 30 already, ESPN. Come on.
Seriously, we need it. We need to see the cocaine abuse. We need it.
But yes, Pulisic rumored, according to The Mirror, Mike, and Sun Sports.
And I don't know if you saw Aubameyang's Instagram post. I believe it was Aubameyang.
You're on Instagram? I didn't think you were on Instagram.
No, I haven't. You don't follow me on Instagram?
Maybe.
I'm blowing up, bro.
What's your Instagram tag name?
Mike G. McLaughlin.
All right.
It's long. But Pulisic and Aubameyang were messing around. It looked like in the Dortmund training room, and they have a basketball hoop there. And Aubameyang was like doing an American, and now everyone Christian he dribbled the ball. His handle looked pretty good as a former basketball player. His handle looked all right. Didn't look goofy soccer player. It looked like all right. And then he went up and dunked, and he got up for the dunk. But Sam says not official height.
Oh, I did see that. I paused it. Well, they after he did it in real speed, they slowed it down. So all I did was like focus on his leap, and it was a good 12 inches.
You know what this podcast is? This is what it is. It's like
it's a 34-inch vert. Okay, the kid can get up. All right,
like,
go on. Yeah.
The news right now, like if Donald Trump sneezes during a press conference, it's like a national news story. We are that with Pulisic. Like he ties his shoes. He like does a cool anything he does. Like he drives a car.
What if I nabbed him as a guest?
That would probably raise our numbers dramatically.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do that.
Yeah, that should be our biggest. That's our nab. I'll get him.
That's our goal. Let's have one goal. I'll ask you your goals at the end of this podcast. But what we look to accomplish in the next 12 months.
I just want to blow
but
up
I'm not gonna. If he comes on our podcast, I'm not letting him get away with all that. Like, we just went out there and we did the best we could do. We're gonna go down to Trinidad, and we're gonna beat them too. And the team, and he always does those psycho athlete focused interviews.
Yeah, it's like scripted shit.
He seems like he seems like a funny kid.
Yeah, he seems really fun to hang out with.
He reminds me of like a Tiger Woods type. Like when Tiger Woods
is actually excited for the upcoming season. I got a Bleacher Report quote. He's like, pumped. It's pumped for the
Tiger
upcoming
Woods
season. He just says he's pumped. He's quoted saying
golf season.
Yeah.
He wrote
what other season?
He wrote something on
hunting season.
I thought you were talking about soccer.
Season?
Like, soccer.
All right.
Tigers into soccer.
Xanax season.
No, dude, he's over all that. Jesus.
Less than 12 months ago, he's over it.
We love speculating people's drug abuse. Like I bet Freddie Adu's never done coke in his life, and we're just like, yeah, coke addict.
Nah, he did coke, dude. Come on, he's still.
All right, thank you, Mike, for the very deep insight to Christian Pulisic's life. Too deep, some might say. But thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Christian Pulisic. Can't even remember. What did I say before?
Oh, yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
Quick MLS.
Well, should we order Domino's now or
after the podcast?
Well, it'd be fun. No, it wouldn't be fun. It'd be distracting.
It'd be distracting.
MLS. 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 Get your dicks up with the MLS. It's the MLS with the Connor Walsh. Uncle Raw, his Twitter name. Go on, son.
All right, lads. Thanks for the intro.
I think that was our best one. All right, carry
It
on.
was
That
a
was
good
good.
one. It was a good one.
We'll forget about it tomorrow.
Despite
Find that, Sam. Book it and record it. Play it.
despite the season ending and European soccer happening,
Yay!
the world of MLS is still happening in our great country. In the last few weeks,
That's the crowd going wild.
yeah. In the last few weeks, some big stuff has happened. Notably in the transfer market, a big announcement was made to what team was going to be added to the league. You guys are the worst, man.
Kind of. Whoa.
I don't make noise during your sections. All
Right, I don't even have a section. Give me a section.
right. So Nashville was announced, new expansion club. I watched the presentation on YouTube. It was pretty funny. There was a few funny moments. One in particular.
Is
that
Nashville like a cowboy town? Is it like?
Oh yeah, it's all yeah. It's like a country. It's like the country music capital. So I don't know why
we have a lot of foreign listeners.
Okay. So Nashville's announced. I watched the presentation. It was
The old opera.
It was pretty.
That's what the this is.
Okay.
All right, no more interruptions. Go.
Yeah, sorry, Connor.
Nashville coming to.
So wait, Nashville's the new team in the MLS? Oh my god. I didn't know that. That is good. Well, all right. So what's the deal? Who's owning it? What's the stadium? Is it going to be sold out like all the new ones? That's what I want. I want a new stadium, packed out, 50,000 fans. Like, where do they all come from? If you give a shit about soccer down below the Mason-Dixon line, I guess. Whatever. Atlanta.
All right. So moving on. DC United. No, I love to say the one funny thing. I watched the presentation on YouTube. It was Taylor Twellman was like emceeing. And I was like, you are a sellout because I see you on Twitter talking mad trash, and here you are like putting a scarf around Don Garber's neck.
When are they coming to the MLS?
Like 2019 or some crap.
Cool.
The funny thing is, though, there's like they have like their supporters there, and they're all going crazy, like everything. And every time someone came on stage, they did like the "Who Are You" chant, and they were singing all these Nashville songs. Like soccer chants, and I was the "Who Are You" thing was funny, man, because it was like the owner of the club's on and they're doing it, and I was like, you guys haven't watched a single English game in your life, like you don't know what you're doing. But one thing I thought was cool though was that the owner of the Titans was there, the owner of the Predators was there, the governor was there, the mayor was there. It was like the whole state is excited, and everyone
community coming together.
In Nashville,
it's nothing better than the Southern community coming together.
Nothing brings the South together like. Soccer. But the soccer has done well in Nashville. A few Gold Cup things. Mexico's sold out a few times.
World Cup. Another friendly, right?
Yeah. DC United will open their new stadium on July 14th. Audi Field. Very exciting that they're out of the archaic RFK dumpster. Unfortunately for DC, who have had a bad run of a while. They've just been not great for a long time. They've been pretty bad. 12 of their first 14 games will be on the road until the stadium opens. The other 2 games we played at a local venue to be announced. I feel like it'll just be RFK. Like they have like this big sending off ceremony at RFK, and they're just gonna like play at RFK. But I don't think that's. I don't know. I feel like for them they should
demolition trucks around them.
Did they blow up RFK yet? I don't know.
I think they did.
Probably, yeah, they did. Yeah. So I don't know where they're gonna play. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Where Maryland plays or something. I don't know,
that's not big enough though. I mean, it's a decent stadium, but maybe like where the what's it called? The Redskins play. I don't know.
Or the Nationals play the baseball stadium. That's probably
the thing. Is the Nationals will be in season.
Okay.
FedEx Field will just be sitting there, really. So I feel like that's probably the most reasonable. But we'll see what happens. That's kind of interesting. Unfortunately, the stadium won't be open for the kickoff of the season. The off-season, there's been some big transfers already in Major League Soccer. Kai Kamara to Vancouver, leaving the Revolution, heading over to the Whitecaps, who had a very good season this year. He'll be a nice addition, the veteran striker. David Bingham has left San Jose, the keeper, U.S. national team keeper occasionally. Going to LA Galaxy. They need all the help they can get. So that's a nice little transfer for them. I think the biggest stories so far have definitely been LAFC, considering they started with 0 players and now we're like having a team. They got the ball rolling with the Carlos Vela signing from Real Sociedad, Mexican national team star.
Yeah, it's huge. Huge.
First big signing.
Huge.
First big signing is Omar Gaber from Basel in Sweden. Only 25 years old. Switzerland, yes. Fullback or a midfielder. He's Egyptian, 25. Played for Bob Bradley. Played for Bob Bradley under the national team.
It's like a brother.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're boys. But coming from Basel at 25, like that's a respectable club, Champions League club.
Yeah, true.
He must be a decent player. Benny Philhaber is going to LAFC. Excited to see that. See the 33-year-old's name up in the lights. Brazilian-American magician. 2 huge center back signings. I think the most important thing for an expansion club is a good core defense, because they might not score a lot of goals, but we'll see.
Coach Walsh. Coach Walsh.
Walker Zimmerman from FC Dallas.
Nice.
Very good defender. And then Laurent Simon, the Belgian, could be playing in the World Cup. He plays a lot for the Belgian national team, coming over from Montreal Impact. So that's a really nice veteran MLS, 2 very good players to lock down that defense. Other big signing for LAFC is Diego Rossi, very highly rated Uruguayan 19-year-old coming over from Penarol. He is a designated player. His goal-scoring record has been pretty good in Uruguay, and he's been looked at by some of the bigger South American clubs.
Wow, these are like good signings.
Yeah, really good signings. Really good.
The 25-year-old kid, this is like they're trying to go the Giovinco route, you know?
Yeah, it looks good. And, I mean, Boca Juniors were interested. River Plate were interested for Diego Rossi. So that's a pretty good steal for LAFC.
It's the MLS. How can you turn it down, to be honest?
Honestly. Especially when Will Ferrell is your club owner.
Where would you want to go? LAFC or Boca? And be like...
Boca. 100% Boca. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Okay. Oh, all right. Sacha Kljestan has left the New York Red Bulls to go to Orlando in exchange for Carlos Rivas and one other player. I forgot who it is. But Carlos Rivas is like the most frustrating player in Major League Soccer. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out, but definitely a good signing for Orlando. Kljestan's led the league in assists for 2 seasons in a row now. Scored a decent amount of goals.
Does that mean New York Red Bull they can sign a new DP?
Yeah.
Or is Rivas count?
No, Rivas definitely isn't a DP. He's like batting average and kicks the ball every time he touches it really far. Darlington Nagbe in Atlanta, flying over in the private jet, swagged out. I'm interested to see how he fits in, though, because I don't know. He's a great player, but the pace of Atlanta, I don't know where he's going to fit in. I think it's a good signing, though. Very good signing. Atlanta making the necessary steps to strengthen themselves. NYCFC made a big signing. Jesus Medina, 20-year-old from Paraguay, has already won 5 consecutive championships with Libertad in Paraguay. He's a designated player. Apparently, he's pretty highly regarded in South America. He's a winger, striker. It would be good to have a nice, young, highly rated talent because...
Yeah, what a better way to further your career as well at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, playing on a high school gym or whatever. It's a basketball court-sized field, but... really excited for that. He looks really good.
So the news with New York City FC Stadium, that place in Brooklyn was acquired by...
No, with Belmont.
Belmont. Yeah, it was acquired by
the Islanders.
Right?
The Islanders.
So they're definitely not
going
there.
It's good. It's good for NYCFC.
We'll just wait another 5 years before we chat about it.
Yeah.
But
I kind of like the historicness, I guess. That's what I feel like when I go to Yankee Stadium and watch NYCFC, because it's not going to happen forever.
Dude, I'd like it, man. Like when you're in the supporters
section,
because
it's so ridiculous. That's why you like it, because it's so fucking
and it's
ridiculous.
so easy to get to. It's just and it feels
perfect.
Urban.
It's not perfect.
Good. I mean, it is.
Well, that's what
it
I mean
works.
for Albany, because the fans up here, they say if they move anywhere further, if they were talking about Belmont, they were like, yeah, we're done. We're not supporting them. It's going to take double the time to get there. But anyway, that's a discussion further down the line. We do have to wrap this up. But
one more big transfer story. Transfer hasn't happened yet. Atlanta United continuing their South American what would you call that? They're just like attack of South American talent. Ezekiel Barco, he's like the highest rated prospect in South America. He's being compared to Kun Agüero. Plays for Independiente in Argentina. He's like a huge talent. Atlanta, he agreed to personal terms with Atlanta. Atlanta most recently.
Hang on a minute. Rewind.
Wait a second.
Regarded in the same breath as Kun Agüero.
He's like that level of talent.
Okay.
He's that level of talent.
Atlanta.
Yeah, and he wants to go to Atlanta.
So are we really starting to sign? Is the MLS starting to sign the young South America players that would go to Europe?
Well, what it is, I mean, Man City are heavily involved with New York City FC, so it's a good opportunity for them to go to these clubs. I don't know how many other English clubs are involved with MLS teams.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, it's the only reason they're involved because it's the same owners. So no other club is like that.
I mean, it's like, it's like players that used to go to like Rangers and Celtic to propel their career in order to get a contract with Premier League clubs. It's a good advert. I don't know if it is a good advert. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, definitely if you go to New York City FC, you're going to get looked at by Man City scouts. There's no question about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, to go to play in New York City, like, that's an attractive offer. It really is. Like,
and the Venezuelan kid there, he's on the books at Man City.
Yeah, Miguel Herrera was great this year.
Yeah.
For NYCFC.
No, but I don't know. I'll do
that. It seems like it's going that way. I mean, LAFC signs this Diego Rossi kid. NYCFC signs this Medina kid, but this Barco talent is like a huge story because he's been looked at by some of the biggest clubs across Europe. And he wants to go to Atlanta.
How old is this kid? Do you know?
He's 20.
Okay.
And he's been he kills it in Argentina. They want at least $20 million for him, even though he's agreed to personal terms. They want $20 million. Atlanta most recently offered $14 million. So it's a big story because if they make this happen, it is such a huge addition to that already stacked South American roster. And it's such a great look for the league. So, keep your eye on that story. MLS fans, we'll see what happens, but it's definitely an exciting situation for the league, Atlanta United, and I guess for Ezekiel Barco. We'll see.
MLS section. Some preseason news there with Uncle Connor.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Or next month.
But we have run out of time. Apologies for not doing the fantasy this week. But yes, Mike.
Oh, I just want to do a plug.
All right.
Got time. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be up in Albany this weekend. If you want to see my triumphant return to stand-up comedy, the thing nobody's been waiting for, is going to be on. I'm at the Steamer Theater on Saturday, this Saturday, January 6th at 8:00. I think it's already sold out. No, there's tickets left. But at the Steamer Theater, shut up. It's not me. It's a bunch of other comics. But,
what day is Saturday?
Saturday night.
I can definitely go to that as well. So
I have to work.
I'll see you.
I'm working.
All right.
Really?
Yeah. For Dan.
Oh, really? All right. Okay. But yeah, thanks guys for joining in, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.